Good morning, my sweet, tortured souls. Sorry, Callie, just fancied a different intro. Thought I'd nick yours. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I'll start with a heartfelt thank you to everyone that sent messages, not only to me, but to our lovely staffy Maya, who was very, very ill about a week and a half ago. Um, Basically came home and she'd been throwing up blood all over the place. It was all over the carpet, on the suite, the sofa. It was on the kitchen floor, and it looked like somebody had just got a massive spoonful of strawberry jam and just done that with it. It was awful. I honestly thought we were losing her. I immediately called Rob. This would have been about 2:30, and said, "Look, wherever you are, you need to come back because this dog is not well." Came home, ran around to Scarsdale. I think it's Scarsdale Vets on Spring Terrace Road. They saw us straight away. They were absolutely brilliant. They did a few on-site tests and basically decided that it would be best for Maya to be hospitalised for at least a day or two. We naturally assumed it was going to be at the vets or somewhere in Burton. It wasn't. It was in Derby at their massive animal hospital opposite Pride Park Stadium, which took a hell of a lot of finding. Even with the sat nav, we got lost. But we dropped her off there. They did a few tests again and basically said, yeah, she's not in a good way. We can't guarantee anything, but we will do our best for her. To cut a long story short, we called them pretty much every day, 2-3 times a day, just to check on how she was, and she was gradually getting better. And on Friday they said, if you want to come and visit her, you can do. She's a lot better than she was, but she's still got a bit of a way to go. So we went and saw her. That was lovely because we'd not seen her for 3 days, and oh god, the house felt so empty without her. It was so odd not having her here. But we went and saw her. Her little eyes lit up and her tail went the second she walked into this little visitors room that they've got there. And they told us that if she carried on the way that she was going, she'd be able to come home hopefully the following day, which was the Sunday. We got the phone call about sort of 1 o'clock to pick her up around 5. Brought her home, and that's basically it. She's a lot better than she was. She's a lot brighter. She's a lot more alert. She's now eating better. We've actually started her on a new diet. She came on with home with a shed load of meds. I've never seen so many meds, but she's just about got through them. But we started her off on this stuff, butternut. I've seen it advertised on Facebook a few times, and it's all natural ingredients type food. It's kept in your freezer. You take one out the previous day to defrost it, and you basically serve it with anything you want, sort of chicken breast, that kind of thing. But she has been so much better since she started on this. We had a bit of a wobble yesterday. She threw it all up after about 10 minutes, but I think that was mostly the heat, and I also think it was the fact that she wolfed it down so quick, being the gannet that she is, that she couldn't cope with it. But she's been fine since. But we've got her on this. They sent us the first pack, which she loves. They also sent us this. It's supposed to be a bandana, but I've not made it up as that. I think I'm just going to use it as a little mat to put a food bowl in. And her meds, we've had to mix them up. Now, we had a hell of a job for the first couple of days because you're crushing them between spoons. There's still grains in there and little chunks in there that she absolutely would not touch, the little madam. Well, I won't say she promised us, but we told her when we brought her home, you must take your meds, because obviously she understands every word you say. And she wasn't having it. So I spotted this on Amazon. It's called a pill crusher. So if any of you lot have got pets that will not take meds, this is highly recommended. Take the top off, pop your pill in there, screw that down. As far as it will go, you'll hear it crack, and then undo, shake it up a bit, and then screw it down again and keep going until it's a fine powder, which it is after about 2-3 times. And I put that, sprinkled that over a food, mixed it in. She's also got some probiotics which she sprinkle over a food, which she actually quite likes. and she's now getting through her meds properly. She's way behind with them. She should have finished them sort of Tuesday last week, but we're still on them, and I think we've still got about another 2-3 days left. So we don't take her back to the vets because they'll tell us off for not doing it properly, I'm sure. But as soon as she's taken the meds and we've basically kept her on an even keel for 2-3 days, we'll take her back for a sort of a checkup. But it's been a bit of a roller coaster. It really has. It's not been much fun at all. But we've got her back. She's now in better health, as far as I can tell, than she has been for quite a while. Oh, the light's gone out already. Just bear with me. There you go. So yeah, thank you so much for all your messages. I can put a post on about anything and get sort of, 5 or 10 replies. You stick something on about a dog. And everybody's there. So thank you so much to everybody. She is now 100% better, and hopefully we can keep her on an even keel. The only nasty surprise we got was I got this through. It's not from the vets. This is from the owners of the car park that the vets is built on. Now, forgive me for saying this, but when you go to a vet, you automatically assume, do you not, that the car park is theirs? Apparently it's not. It's owned by Parking Eye. So they sent us this £100 parking charge for parking on the car park without actually registering. What you're supposed to do is go into the vets, and on the counter they've got a little console, a bit like the machines in the town where you put your registration number in. You don't have to pay, you just have to put your registration number in. We didn't do that because obviously there was so much going on. We went straight in to the vets, as in to the actual vet herself. She saw us within a couple of minutes, and nobody on the desk thought to tell us to put this in. So I showed that to Rob when he came in, and his first words were, "Fuck that, give it here." That was it. Straight round the vets. Come back 15 minutes later, it's sorted. And I said, "You weren't horrible to him, were you? Because we've still got to take it." He says, No. He says, "I was loud." He says, "Because there were people in there, and I wanted to get across to everybody that, if you're not putting your registration in into this console thing, you will get one of these through." But he said, no, I was all right. He says, "I told him I'm not blaming them because it's not the vet's fault, it's Parking Eye's fault," and all this sort of thing, which it was. And he did kind of make it up for him because he took him a couple of boxes of chocolates and some biscuits in yesterday to basically say thanks, which we did also at the Derby branch. Our vet Alex was absolutely lovely, so we took her a bunch of flowers and a box of chocolates and promised that we would update her. She's given us her email address of the vets, and we're also going to we also took her some bits and pieces in and some stuff for the ladies on reception as well, who were constantly bothering for updates. But yeah, hopefully that is a closed chapter now. She's got one more examination to go through, which will take her for when she's finished all these meds and she's settled down a bit. So, and that's the end of that. So again, thanks ever so much, guys. You've been absolutely brilliant as per usual. I've got another one at the top here to rant about Derby after the Human League gig. I might save that till next week. I'll see how we go time-wise, because I definitely want to bring this in at under an hour today. I think last week's was a bit of an epic, a bit of a slog. So I might come back to that one, but I have got a bit of a rant about McDonald's and also the centre of Derby, but I'll save that for another time probably. Right, I'll start with comments as I always do. We'll start with David. Always start with David. Morning, Dave. Thoughts on the passing of Ozzy Osbourne? Not a massive fan. It was sad, obviously. I think he's deep down a lovely guy. I know he's supposed to be the Prince of Darkness and all that, but I don't think he's a bad person at all. I used to love the Osbournes TV series. Paranoid was good. I loved Bark at the Moon. I remember buying that on single. Did they do one called 747 Strangers in the Night, or am I thinking of somebody else? That could be somebody else. But yeah, sad news, absolutely. I mean, he brought a lot of revenue to Birmingham and this, that and the other, and that final concert of his, my God, did he time that right or what? Because I think he passed away pretty much a week or two after that. So he just about timed that right. But yeah, sad news, not a massive fan. But yeah, of course it's sad news. Thoughts on the film Manhunter. Watched it for the first time and thought it was good. This is the kind of unofficial prequel to Silence of the Lambs, isn't it? With Brian Cox as Hannibal Lecter. I haven't seen it for a lot of years. I believe it was on VHS when I watched it, but really enjoyed it. I thought it was excellent. I think this was it before Silence of the Lambs or after? I can't remember. But I do remember enjoying it, definitely. Thoughts on the new James Bond via writing and director? And if you love Jerry Anderson shows, I would recommend Jerry Anderson in Concert. Got the Blu-ray. I wouldn't mind watching that, so I might actually invest in that one myself. I bet that's a cracking concert. As for James Bond, listen to a Mark Kermo podcast about this a couple of days ago. The new director is Denis Villeneuve, isn't it? Who directed the Dune films. He's like the sort of unofficial king of summer blockbusters at the moment. I don't think it can go wrong. As for who's going to play him, I literally can't think of anybody that would do sort of justice. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I said this about Daniel Craig when he was named as the new Bond. Straight off, it's like, who the hell's he? I've never heard of him. And he turned out to be absolutely brilliant. So, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, I honestly don't know. Somebody even threw Tom Holland's hat into the ring. Too young, surely, and too short, I would have thought. I don't know. I'm not sure. If Denis Villeneuve is at the helm, I don't think it can go far wrong. But as for who's going to play Bond, that is anybody's guess. But my guess is that if they've invested the kind of money that I've heard they've invested to get the rights or the creativity rights to Bond, they're not going to want to drag their heels with this. So we should be getting an announcement, I'm hoping, quite soon on that. But we'll see what happens. So thanks for that, David. Much appreciated, mate. Always good to hear from you. Sparkstrom73, morning, mate. Thanks for the shout out. You're more than welcome. I do feel on one hand the tide is turning on freedom of speech, etc. But on the other, it's getting worse. We were talking about wokery and all that fucking rubbish. Once we complained of being a nanny state, but now we are living with Big Brother and his AI bots. It is definitely getting worse. Always good to hear some common sense from you, and don't envy you having to do jury service. I hope it goes well. Bit of news on that, actually. Yeah, I try to look at it objectively. I do get, obviously, that you can't say and do certain things on TV and film that you would have done sort of 30, 40 years ago. But it is literally getting out of hand, and there's another example of this coming up a little bit later on. I've always said the same thing. They object to the sort of gentle seaside postcard humour of stuff like Are You Being Served, the Carry On movies, that kind of thing. And yet Netflix shows like Sex Education, that kind of stuff, which is as sexually explicit and sweary as anything I've ever seen, that's perfectly okay. Bollocks. It's absolute rubbish. Don't get me started on this. You know my views. As for jury service, I've spent the last few weeks being told you can't get out of it or be excused from it. I get that it's my civic duty and this, that and the other. I can't say that actually means a whole lot to me. Somebody mentioned to me about a week and a half ago, you're type 2 diabetic, aren't you? I says, yeah, I've been for about 6 months. And he says, well, all you've got to do is tell them that, because if they think that you're going to be taking regular sort of wee breaks, there's no way they're going to want you. So I drafted off an email, quite a lengthy one, to not only .gov.uk but also the Derby Court, and basically explained a few bits and pieces that I would obviously need, regular toilet breaks, stuff like that. And they emailed me back and basically said that you're excused from jury service. You may be asked again, but next time would you mind actually entering this information on the original form, which I was going to do, but I was in relatively good health when that came through, and I couldn't see any reason not to say that I'd do it. I'd also got the hip pain at the time, which is now hopefully gone or as good as gone. And I did tell them, and it was true, that I couldn't sit down for more than about an hour without having to stand up and walk around for a few minutes. So obviously to them this was a recipe for disaster, and they just basically emailed me back and said you are excused from jury service. So I now don't have to do it, it is a huge relief. Do you know what? It's not so much the jury service. You guys know what I'm like nowadays. I'm a bit of a hermit. I don't really do people that much. I just don't. So the thought of sitting in a room with a fair sized handful of people that I've never met before and having to somehow strike up conversations with them, that terrified me more than the actual jury service. So to me, it is a relief that I don't now have to do it. And it came as a great relief to work because obviously, I'll tell you what tipped it for me was not only that guy telling me about being excused for being type 2 diabetic. I got an email, I think it was last weekend. I got one after the other, one within about 15 minutes of each other. The first one came through and basically said, don't forget you've got jury service. Don't forget that you may be asked to serve in either Chesterfield or possibly Stafford. You're not guaranteed to stay in Derby. And I thought, no way, I ain't doing that, travelling all the way over there. And then within 10 minutes of that, I got another one saying that the case that you're going to be, or that you're likely to be put on, will last between 4 to 6 weeks. And I thought, no, you people are taking the piss. Ordinary people, I know it's the law, and I know they've got to comply with it, your employers, but you can't just walk out on a job for between 6 and 8 weeks. What the fuck are they thinking about? It's all right if you're on the dole and you've got no to bloody do all day, but no, absolutely not. So that basically tipped the scale, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to play this diabetic card, the hip pain card, and it paid off. And as I say, it wasn't a lie. I am, as you know, diabetic, and I did have hip pain. So none of it was a lie. It was just embellished a little bit, that's all. So I now don't have to do jury service, so you don't have to envy me not doing it. So thanks for that, mate. Much appreciated. Let's see what we've got here. Steve Mack, our Criterion guy. Morning, Steve. The comedy series Mandy is so silly and touches so much on the ridiculous, almost slapstick style we enjoyed in the 70s. I'm warming to it. Didn't think I'd like it, but the driving test episode is a hoot. Pokes woke in the eye. So I will definitely be taking a look at that sometime. There are odd things that come along, aren't there, where they do literally, as he says, poke woke in the eye. And I think it's great when they do that. It's basically people standing up and saying, you know what, I don't give a fuck about you people. I'm just going to say this, and if it upsets you, tough. So, I should be having a look at that. There's so much mediocre comedy on TV and on streaming nowadays. I'm hanging on to my network Blu-rays. They're mainly all films based on TV sitcoms, which I collected mostly during lockdown year. They are priceless. And I'll tell you what, they really will be priceless in years to come. But if they do decide to re-release any of these things like Man About the House, The Likely Lads, all that sort of thing, movie versions, are they going to be cut or are they not? Who knows? So I would definitely hang on to those because I'm definitely hanging on to mine, that's for sure. Tony, there are actually 3 films in the Train to Busan series. The prequel film was Seoul Station, 2016, an animated film. Didn't know that, but I've got something to show you in a bit. So thanks for that, Steve. Much appreciated, mate. Chris. Morning, Chris. Tony, a face that has been missed. Welcome back, sir. Cheers, Chris. Parenthood is going beautifully, thank you kindly, sir. Although it's changed my watching habits, I cannot complain with the changing of viewing, as so far I've completed Spot the Dog, Penny Crayon, and getting through Alvin and the Chipmunks. Being a dad at 41 has made me feel 8 years old again. Well, I've never heard of Spot the Dog. Well, kind of. Penny Crayon, nope. Alvin and the Chipmunks, yes, because they've done film versions of that. I love watching the old school kids favourites. Stuff like Camberwick Green, Trumpton, Bagpuss, Ivor the Engine, Captain Pugwash, all that sort of stuff. All the stuff from the 70s, absolutely love them. Maybe you should show Lincoln something like that and just see whether he takes to it, because you can tell him in later years that you weaned him on TV shows that were like 50, 60, 70 years old. See what happens. I'd be curious to know what he'd make of an episode of Camberwick Green, that's for sure. As soon as I get round to Dirty Harry, I shall update you with my thoughts. The box set has some great items in it, so if that's any reflection, it should be a great watch. I love the movie. I just need to know whether it's worth upgrading to 4K, because I've yet to see, this is going to sound awful, I've yet to see a 4K movie where I've looked at it and thought, wow, what a difference from the Blu-ray. I've yet to do it. They all look good, don't get me wrong. I've watched Jurassic Park, Dominion not too long back, and it looked amazing. But I do remember thinking, after I'd watched it, why didn't you just buy the Blu-ray? Because I don't think you'd have noticed much difference. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's a setup I'm playing it on. I don't know. But I've yet to see a 4K that's given me the wow factor. So maybe you guys can recommend me one that I'm going to watch and think, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I concede on that one. So I'll leave that with you. I took the plunge with Karate Kid. Oh, I thought you might. It is one movie that reminds me of those great times being a kid, and the box itself looks of great quality. 215 quid's worth of quality? Probably not, but couldn't help myself, and this one will definitely have a little vid to show off when it arrives. I look forward to that. I miss your little Sunday afternoon vids, mate. Twist movies that got my attention in no particular order. The Sixth Sense. God, never saw that one coming. Primal Fear. Definitely never saw that one coming. And the same with these. The Others was brilliant. Shutter Island, I can only just barely remember. Well, I remember being very confused by it. Fight Club, that's another one. Alma and the Wolf. No animation, just a bit trippy. Nicely executed movie. I'm in the process of getting hold of a copy of that. I watched the trailer to it and thought, bloody hell, that looks good. Another epic 80s movie I watched on 4K was From Beyond. We all remember that one. If you were around during the video era, VHS era in the 80s, you'll remember From Beyond, from the same makers of stuff like Reanimator, possibly Cellar Dweller, that kind of era. The image quality on this one makes it look like it could have been made in the past few years, but what makes it stand out is the colour palette. It's always looked good with the purple and pink hue throughout the movie, but the HDR really makes this film a delight for the old retinas. Audio, I opted for the Dolby 5.1 over the 2.0 just to give it a newer experience, and I was not disappointed. Pings and whooshes all around me. I've not had that yet. And the score of the film engulfed my ears and drew me into the movie even more. I think I need to update my setup because that review of From Beyond has made me want to basically do that. I've not had anything like that, so I think I need to look at upgrading at some point. I must take a look at I, Claudius. I'm a huge fan of all things Rome, and with a cast like that, it sounds like a must-watch. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I know it's an old show. It's from about 1975 or 76, but the acting is just next level, just perfect. And you know, it's got its fair share of sex and violence. It really, really has. And for its time, it was controversial as hell. There were loads of complaints about it, but there were also heaps of praise for it. So, yeah, I think you'd enjoy I, Claudius. And if there's ever a BBC TV show that was crying out for either a movie version or an updated remake TV series, it's that one. I would love to see what they do with it nowadays. Good health to you, sir. Thank you for blessing mine and Link's early morning TV time. You are more than welcome, mate, and it's good to hear from you as per usual, as always. Stuart, morning Stu. Yes, I'm a Christopher Reeve fan as well. Man of Steel is well worth watching, mate. Kevin Costner and Russell Crowe as his fathers is genius, packed full of emotions as well, but it's also packed with CGI, but it's okay. That's interesting. Kevin Costner and Russell Crowe as his fathers. I'm going to watch it just to find out what that's all about. But I do need to start from the beginning. I'm going to start with Superman the movie and reacquaint myself with the original. I think it's a quadrilogy because you have to count Quest for Peace with that, don't you? Just received the new Arrow 4K of the good, the bad, and the ugly. What are a few of your favourite westerns? My God, there's quite a few. I always say I'm not a great fan of westerns, but I've got a list here of movies that I have seen and really, really enjoyed. The Magnificent Seven, Shane, the Dollars trilogy, obviously, which are brilliant. Django Unchained, that was a fresh take on it at the time. It had Quentin Tarantino's fingerprints all over it. Unforgiven, Clint Eastwood, brilliant. Tombstone, superb. Dances with Wolves with Kevin Costner, that was a good one. Two more Clint Eastwood ones here. The Outlaw Josie Wales, High Plains Drifter. You see, I could have only have named 2 or 3 of these off the top of my head, but going through the IMDb's list of classic westerns, I thought, blimey, there's quite a few that I have seen and enjoyed. The Searchers, John Wayne, and True Grit with John Wayne, really enjoyed those. The Long Riders, which starred a lot of the Keach brothers in 1980, that was brilliant. And if we're going down the comedy route, Carry On Cowboy and Blazing Saddles, obviously. There's quite a few that I want to see that I've not seen, and I noticed those on the list here. The Wild Bunch is one. 310 to Yuma, both versions. I believe the remake with Russell Crowe, is it Christian Bale as well? That's one of Mark's favourites, and I've got that on Blu-ray fairly recently, but I've not had a chance to take a look at it yet. But that's another one that I wouldn't mind seeing, both versions. The Hateful Eight, a Tarantino film I've not seen. Young Guns 1 and 2, again, 2 of Mark's favourites, which I've now got on Blu-ray. Maverick, wouldn't mind a look at that. I got that one on Blu-ray just recently. High Noon, Gary Cooper, same again. Rio Bravo, not sure whether I've got that on Blu-ray. I've got a funny feeling I have. I'll have to have a look. But there's quite a few that I've not seen. So I'm probably more into westerns than I choose to say on that one. See you in a few weeks, mate. You certainly will. Thanks for that, Roy. Let's see what else have I got here. Ollie didn't comment this week, but I think I've got a question from. Hey up, the dog's going off on one any minute now. She's just gone out back, which means she's heard something. So be prepared for some noise. There she goes. I've got a couple of questions from previous videos, which I could tackle. One of them. What twist in a film shocked you the most? I've got to say The Sixth Sense. I know we come up with this one earlier, but it was just brilliant. I won't say what it is, just in case there's anybody out there that hasn't seen it. Primal Fear. So well done by Edward Norton. Never seen nothing like that. And another one, a French film from the late 50s, or is it mid 50s, I believe, Diabolique. They remade it, I believe, in the 90s with Sharon Stone, which was not a patch on this one. But again, a twist at the end that you absolutely did not see coming. So, what have I got here? Let's have a look. I've got Simon coming up next because I forgot his comment last week. Sorry, Si. So I'm going to take a quick break for a couple of seconds and I'll be back. And we're back. Right, on with the comments. Simon, morning, Si. Hi, Tony. It's good to see you back. I hope you get on top of your health issues. I'm getting there very nicely, thank you. Now that Maya is out of danger, our lovely Staffy, and I've sorted this court thing out, which was a major thing hanging over my head for weeks before. I'm now engaging in a program of self-care because I have no further problems to worry about, nothing to worry about apart from myself. So I've started walking for 30 minutes a day. I bought one of those, you know, those Revitive things that send shockwaves up your legs. I bought one of them and I've been using that for about half an hour a night, and it does kind of make a difference. It does feel a bit easier. So, and I'm going to clean my diet up and all that sort of thing. So hopefully I should be looking a little more fresh-faced over the next few weeks or months if it all works. So thanks for that, mate. Much appreciated. Just thought I'd let you know that you missed my comments from the previous video, but that's okay. I do apologise. I did say at the beginning that there's a very, very good possibility that I've missed something with it having been thrown together at the last minute due to bits and pieces. But yeah, hopefully now I've caught up. I've deleted all of the old questions that have been hanging around for weeks and months, and I've basically had a nice clean slate to work with this morning, so that's brilliant. So apologies for that, mate. My local independent cinema has just released its annual Halloween all-nighter playlist. They put on 20 films on 4 screens overnight. I think that's brilliant. I love that. I'm going to watch An American Werewolf in London and Fright Night this year, along with 3 mystery films which get revealed on the night. The New Beverley Cinema, one of my favourite cinemas that I've never actually been to and probably never will go to, do the same thing. They do seasons of movies, unknown movies, and the Halloween all-nighter sells out within hours. And basically they put on 5 or 6 movies right the way through the evening, and nobody knows what they are until they literally unspool on screen. And I think it's an amazing idea because you never know what you're going to get. But with it being the New Bev, it is always class stuff. So I do get it. I love that idea. You say, I can't wait. Are there any old school horrors that you would love to see on the big screen? I saw a lot of them in sort of the late 70s, early 80s, which are basically when I used to go to the Odeon pretty much 2-3 times a week when it had 3 screens. So I saw a lot of the absolutely amazing sort of horror slasher movies, monster humanoids from the deep, the Rapey Lizards movie, as Chris calls it. He Knows You're Alone, an early role for Tom Hanks. That was a good slasher. My Bloody Valentine, The Fun House. There were so many. And I saw them all on the big screen. The original Friday the 13th, never forget that screening. The original Halloween. I saw a lot of them there, but there were a lot that obviously I was too young to see that I would have loved to have seen. I made a list on here. 2 Hitchcock classics, Psycho and the Birds. I bet they look amazing on the big screen. Cat People, a Val Lewton black and white one from the late 30s, early 40s. Would have loved to have seen that one. I'd have loved to have been around when The Curse of Frankenstein opened, which was obviously the first proper Hammer horror movie. Village of the Damned, which always creeped me out. They remade it. John Carpenter remade it with Christopher Reeve and Kirstie Alley, I believe. And that was a good version. It wasn't a bad remake at all. And that would answer one of Sam's questions, actually. I'll do this now before I forget, because I've deleted it now. Sam, you asked me whether there was a remake that you were not looking forward to watching, but that you actually had quite a good time with. And I would probably say Village of the Damned. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be, much better than I expected. I went in with low expectations and came out thinking, that actually wasn't bad. For a remake, that wasn't bad. So that answers that one for Sam. More movies that I wish I'd have seen on the big screen. The Haunting. My God, that terrified me the first time I saw it. I would have been about 11 or 12. It was on late one night on BBC 1 or 2. Terrifying. Rosemary's Baby, another one. House on Haunted Hill. I'd have loved to have been around when all those gimmick movies of William Castle's, including that one, were around. That must have been a great time to be alive. Night of the Demon. Part of, I think the first time I saw that, it was part of BBC Two's horror double bills in the 70s. And I remember thinking, what a brilliant film. I've got it on Blu-ray now. I've seen it a few times. Dead of Night, which was an old Ealing movie, which was a break from their usual comedies. And they did this portmanteau movie called Dead of Night, which was excellent. I'd have also enjoyed being around when the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out. I do remember seeing the ads for it in movie magazines that I used to buy, basically saying that it was only to be screened in certain cinemas in London, with it being so unbelievably violent. And I do remember watching it for the first time on VHS and thinking, apart from probably 1 or 2 scenes, how amazingly bloodless it actually was. It's probably the best portrayal of complete and utter madness that you will ever see. Um, but I was just surprised how, I wouldn't say how non-violent it was, but it was not what I thought it was going to be, and it really wasn't. And another one that was the same that I'd have loved to have seen on the big screen is Squirm. Now, this is one of Jason's favourites. He hates worms. But I'd have loved to have seen that one because, again, I remember seeing adverts for that, and again, it was only available in certain cinemas in London. I don't know whether it actually got sort of a UK cinema release as such for the rest of the country, but I believe you could only see it in London. That's another one I watched and thought, oh, yeah, I can see why that was really, really unpleasant. So that's a little handful of the ones that I would have liked to have seen had I been around at the time. So I hope that answers your question. I've been to see The Naked Gun, oh dear, and what a disappointment it was. It had one hilarious scene and that's it. It has all been done before, from the jokes to even the plot line. Do you know what? I want to watch it, but again, low expectations. I've heard people say that it's brilliant, it's funny. I've heard other people saying, like you, that it's a crushing disappointment and not the same. I'll reserve judgment until I've actually watched it, but I get the feeling I'm going to think, yeah, it was all right, but give me Leslie Nielsen any day. So we shall see. In regards to woke censorship, look into the controversy surrounding Sydney Sweeney and American Eagle jeans adverts. I'm curious, are we doing that? And I'll let you know what I think on the next one. It's starting to get worse. And finally, in capitals, you've never seen The Usual Subjects. 4, 3, 2, 1. You've never seen The Usual Suspects. What the actual fuck? I haven't. I got it, but I've never watched it. And I do need to watch it before somebody lets slip with this amazing twist that's supposed to be at the end of it. That's the main reason I bought it. I do love twist movies. But it's only a matter of time before somebody lets it slip. So I do need to get that watched. So leave that with me. Thanks for that, Simon. Much appreciated, mate. Look forward to hearing from you again. Sam, the lovely Sam. Morning, Sam. Good morning, Tony, mate. Great video as always. Thanks for the kind words again. It was great to take a social media break, but also it's good to be back at it. And this month I've decided to take a back... Slow down, Tone. Slow down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Calm. Let's see. Where do I start? It was great to take a social media break, but also it's good to be back to it. And this month I've decided to take a back seat from physical media buying, as I've got so much to watch. Do you have any titles, Tony, that you bought that took you the longest time to get round to checking out? I got titles I bought 4 years ago and still not watched. I bet you I could trump that easily. Oh, Sam. Oh, God. I need to get into a practice, and I've said this before, but I do need to get into it. Now things are looking up a bit, everything else-wise. I need to get into a practice of when I buy a Blu-ray, watching it straight away or within a few days. Not sticking it on the shelf upstairs where it will sit upstairs gathering dust for years and years and years, to the point where I will look at it in a few years and think, why did I buy that? I must have had a reason for buying that. Are there any titles that took me the longest time to get round to checking out? Yes, Sam, there are many. Too many to mention. So I'll definitely come back on that one. Maybe I could find my top 10 titles that I bought over 5 years ago. That might be an idea. Yeah, leave that with me. Tony, Arrow are having an absolute ball this year. October's also got a banging lineup of titles with The Sadness. I daren't watch that. I watched the trailer to it and it looks absolutely horrifying. Return of the Living Dead, which I saw many years ago but need to watch again because I believe there's a remake in the works of that. And In the Mouth of Madness. Now that's a Carpenter movie, isn't it? One of his later ones. Don't believe I've ever seen that. Thoughts? Uh, Thoughts are the sadness. I won't touch it with a barge pole, or at least I don't think I will. Return of the Living Dead. I would love to watch it again because it's been a while. And In the Mouth of Madness, I would like to see it because it's a Carpenter movie that I've not taken in yet. I watched The Hitcher for the first time last month, Tone, and it was one of the best first time watches of the year. It's an awesome film, isn't it? Absolutely superb. Rutger Hauer was incredible as John Ryder, a really great cat and mouse chase thriller. Have you seen the remake of this? I haven't. Sean Bean in it. I don't know who plays the C. Thomas Howell role. Oh, I was a great fan of The Hitcher, the original. It was shocking as hell the first time I saw it, especially the truck scene. My God. Um, so I didn't really feel the need to watch the remake because I thought, can it possibly be better or not? Is it worth a watch? You tell me. If it is, I'll have a look. But it's not one that I've ever felt drawn to. Let's put it that way. So no, the answer to that is no. I haven't seen it. But if you tell me that it's worth a look, I'll give it a go. Yes, Tone went to see the latest Superman and had a very enjoyable time with it. I'm glad to say we've had two very solid superhero movies of late, with that and the Fantastic Four. Do you have a favourite Marvel and a favourite DC related movie that would make a good double bill? That new Superman's getting mixed reviews, isn't it? Dave Lowe, one of our members, loved it. Jason hated it. You liked it. Fantastic Four, I don't know. I think Rob Gear, one of our members, he quite enjoyed that one. A double bill of DC. I would probably say Superman the movie from 1978. And if I had to pair it with anything Marvel related, have I got that the right way around? You see, I get very confused by this. I had to actually look up the two movies that I thought of and thought, are these DC or Marvel? It just confuses the hell out of me. So I would say Superman the movie from 78, and I'd pair that with Sam Raimi's original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, which I really, really enjoyed. And as a bonus feature, I would throw in Batman from 1968 with Adam West and Burt Ward, where they're battling basically the Penguin, the Riddler, Catwoman, and the Joker, which I thought was excellent, camp, funny, just amazing, and I still love it now. The original Batman. So yeah, that would be my double bill. But as I say, this MCU stuff just confuses the hell out of me. Keep up the awesome content as ever, Tony, mate, and bring on the next blog, bud. Thanks, mate, much appreciated. Let's see, nothing from Mark this week as yet. Jason K, no. Guy, morning, Guy. The fact that you, oh God, am I talking too fast because I keep tripping over words? The fact that you're back on my birthday is fantastic in itself. Not watched it yet, but I'm only just on the first smoke in the morning. Main comment in a bit, and he then promptly tried to path into oblivion. We didn't hear from him again. So honestly, I do get it, guys. This is for all of you. Anybody that didn't comment on the last one, do not worry. It was a long haul. It was 90 minutes. It was not meant to be like that, but it was. So I do completely get it. And to be fair, I've had stuff going on over the last couple of weeks that has completely thrown me. So I do get it. So it'll all go back on track at some point soon. That's all I'm bothered about. Callie, morning Callie, how are you, sweetheart? Saturday morning Tony time, as it should be. I hope your health is improving, hon, and I hope you get better soon. I'm a lot better than I was, thanks very much. I had the most evil cough last weekend. I thought, you know what, I'm going to have to cry off next weekend. I can see it coming. And I'd only just taken a month's break. But I've literally dosed myself up with cough medicines and pills and Christ knows what all, and it seems to have kicked it into touch. So yes, a lot better than I was, Callie. Thank you for that. The Running Man remake, honestly, I think it looks pretty good. Up in the States, by it being the whole city that's chasing him, could be a nice, fresh take on the story. I don't think it looks that bad. I know a lot of people are sort of hating on it at the moment, saying, why do they need to? I don't think there's any harm in it. Remakes, you know what I mean? So long as they're done right. I'll definitely take a look at it at some point. It looks very violent. I've not seen the new Jurassic Park, but I've heard about a mutant four-armed T-Rex, and honestly, it's kind of put me off watching it. I don't blame you. I've not watched it yet, but I will be taking a look at it. But I think my opinion is pretty much going to be the same as it was Jurassic Park Dominion. Was it Dominion, the last one? Which was just that it was all right. You know, nothing special, just okay. Near Dark is a classic 80s vampire movie, and now that you've said Sinners gave you the same vibe, I'm going to add it to my own uniform's cock. That's watch list to those in the know. We've started somewhat here, Kelly, haven't we? Yeah, Sinners was really, really good, and that's the first movie I thought of. Basically, when we got halfway through it, and I suddenly realised where it was going, I thought this is like Near Dark, or it reminds me of Near Dark. So, yeah, Sinners is definitely worth a watch. Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter is a bloody good, fun vampire movie, and yes, Tony, it's a work of fiction, but with a bit of history mixed in just for fun. Yes, I had kind of got that. But you all know what I'm like. I'll fall for anything. So yeah, I appreciate you filling me in on that one. Thank you for the Violet's Underworld love. Don't worry about commenting, hon. We've had a bit of a rocky schedule at the moment and didn't actually record last week. We've only got 2 more episodes before we take a month's break, so you'll have plenty of time to catch up. And that's exactly how I feel about mine. There's absolutely no panic, you know, to comment on every single one. There really isn't, so don't worry about anything like that. I've got the World War Z book, and you are more than welcome to borrow it. Something to show you in a minute. Oh, more books you tease. I can't wait to show that one off. I don't think it's out till September, the one I was talking about, but you are absolutely going to love it. You really will. Yes, get Nightbreed watched. You've had long enough. Yes, I have. It's by the TV, and if I can, I'll try and watch it after I finish recording this. But I will definitely get it watched. Scouts Honour, I will definitely get it watched in time for the next recording, which will be in 2 weeks. So leave that with me again. I have to go and be an adult and do adulting type stuff like cleaning. As always, another cracking episode, honey, and look forward to the next one in 2 weeks' time. I will be back. So thanks for that, Callie. Much appreciated. Always good to hear from you. Jason P. Morning, Jay. You've had it all going on this week, haven't you? Great vid, not much in the way of comments this week, and I'm not surprised. Like me, you've had a real roller coaster of a couple of weeks. It was Sally Geeson I liked. Very nice. This was the girl in Bless This House, wasn't it? Or she was in was it the film version or the... Can't remember, but I know what you mean. I do know what you mean. I've never seen Marley and Me since I first watched it, and another tearjerker is a British film called Miss You Already. I can't see me watching that for a bit now. It has a brilliant cast, though. That's what I'm going to look up. I know nothing about it. I've never heard of it. So, yeah, leave that with me. Good luck in jury service, and unfortunately, if it takes 8 weeks, then it takes 8 weeks. You can't do bugger all about it, and neither can your employer. Until the next time. Cheers, Jay. Much appreciated. As you know from earlier, I've been excused from jury service, and that's not something I'm proud of. It's not something that I'm boasting about. I'm just saying that I was not looking forward to doing it, and I would have done pretty much anything to get out of it, and it wasn't helped by looking at all of the videos that people had posted of their jury service and their experience of it, to let other people who were going for it for the first time know what to expect. I watched one with a guy, what a cock. He was a real sort of community-minded person, do you know what I mean? And he was basically saying that there was a guy on his jury service that absolutely did not want to be there, took very little part in the discussions, and this, that and the other. And apparently he dressed like a tramp, and he felt the need to remind him that, you know, this is your civic duty, mate, and this, that and the other. And apparently this bloke let fly with a tirade of abuse and walked out. And I thought, yeah, I'm not surprised. You're such a fucking prick. I think I would have done the same. So after watching that one, I thought, I really, really hope I don't end up with a bloody idiot like that, because he'd have been the last thing I'd have needed. So no, I have been excused from it, and to be honest, I couldn't be happier. But you know, if I had to have done it, I'd have done it. It wouldn't have been an issue, but I'm certainly glad I don't have to. So thanks for that, Jane, much appreciated. Right, what are we on? 20 minutes. Ooh. I tell you what, I'll do this next time, because I want to bring this in at under an hour. I promised I would. I basically purchased this showing it from all angles. Here you go, in the back. A few weeks back, it was the sequel to obviously the original Quatermass experiment, and I was going to do an unboxing of this on this week's, but I've got literally 10 minutes before. I wonder if I should do it now. No, because there's quite a bit in this. I'll do this next time. I'll be unboxing this one on the next video, so I probably will take the cellophane off because I'm really keen to know what's inside it. But I will show you what's inside that on the next one. So, right, a few bits that I've bought, and I shall leave you to get on with your weekends. Handful of magazines first to start with. Just bear with me. The latest issue of SFX. Articles on the Stephen King movie, The Long Walk, Predator, Godzilla, Stranger Things, The Conjuring, The Toxic Avenger. Really looking forward to a look at that one. I've not seen the original, but the remake looks amazing. So that's that one. Latest issue of Intermission. Got various things on there. History of Butlins, holiday camps. Relive summers at the cinema with Talking Pictures TV. This is obviously Talking Pictures TV's official magazine. Love that magazine. Latest issue of Saga, because I'm an old twat. A nice little article on AdFab, which drew my attention straight away. The latest issue of Jaws Retro, which is the latest one to jump on the Jaws bandwagon. From Jaws to Star Wars, the movies that defined a golden era. You've also got articles on James Mason, I Love Lucy, Fanny Craddock. What a cow she was. Might have been a good cook, but not a very nice person. And that's basically all things retro. Latest copy of Empire. I have no idea what's in that because they don't put anything on the front, but I shall enjoy a read of that one. A handful of books, and then some Blu-rays, and we're done. Bear with me. I saw this on eBay. I didn't realise this even existed, but I was drawn to it. It was only a tenner. Scum. This is the novelisation of a novel based on the TV play banned by the BBC. This is going to be a rattling good read, I'm sure. There's the back of it. It is basically a movie tie-in, and you know my views on movie tie-ins are absolutely love them. So when I saw this for a tenner on eBay, I thought, that's original. I love that. Callie, is that the one? As soon as I saw this on Amazon for, I think it was 70p, I thought, yeah, I'll have that because I know that's going to be a good read. And this is I presume, it's called An Oral History of the Zombie War. Simon Pegg calls it an absolute must-have. So I will be taking a read on that. Thanks for the offer of the loan though, Callie, but I shall let you know when I've actually read that. And this one is another one I spotted on eBay. And I thought, I used to have a book, a paperback book years ago, which basically contained the short stories upon which certain horror movies were based. And I let it go. I lost it or gave it away or whatever. But I spotted this one and I thought, yeah, that'll do very nicely. And you've got the original stories that inspired the great horror movies, including Duel. That's going to be worth a look. Total Recall. Let me go to the index here. Let's see. Introduction. The Fly. The Beast with Five Fingers. The Company of Wolves. It's a Good Life, which is one of the stories contained within Twilight Zone the movie, which I loved. But I'm definitely going to have a read of that. And a small handful of DVDs and Blu-rays. I've not gone mad this time. The two prequels or sequels to Train to Busan. Oh, seemed rude not to buy them, seeing as I've got the original. Train to Busan Peninsula. Again, no idea how it relates because I've never seen it. And Seoul Station, which was only $5.99, so I thought, why not? So I've got the whole trilogy to go through there. I'm a great fan of the old crooners. You're all going to laugh at this, I know you are. But this guy, I'd never seen anything of him before. One of the ladies that I used to work with at Malarkey's when I was there, she absolutely worshipped this guy, absolutely worshipped him. And she used to play his tapes, as they were back then, incessantly at work. And I just kind of got into it. And I thought, you know what? I spotted this on eBay for about £1. Engelbert Humperdinck live. I think he was like a cut price Tom Jones, but he has got one hell of a voice, and it's got a lot of his greatest hits on it, so I'll have that on in the background one day. And my best buy of the week, I didn't think I'd be able to get a copy of this because it is sold out pretty much everywhere. But I managed to get this. It was £10 more than it was when it was sort of initially released, which was about 2 weeks ago. That's all it was. And within, a few hours, you couldn't get it for love nor money. But I spotted this one on eBay. Jaws. This is the 50th anniversary limited edition steelbook. And I will unwrap this one very carefully. See what it looks like. Just bear with me, because this cellophane is a pain in the arse to get off. Here we go. I'm really glad I got hold of this. There's not many steelbooks I'm desperate for, but this was one that I did want to get. So that's it, as you see it there. Opening this up. Oh, that bit comes off the back. They've always got that on. So that's the actual back of it. And there are your discs. I believe there are 3 of them, with which also includes the documentary, the 50th anniversary making of Jaws. There's that cough coming back again. So I can't wait to have a look at that. I've not seen Jaws all the way through for a number of years, so I think this is definitely the best way to watch it. And I don't think Rob's seen it at all, ever. Shocking. I know. So that's it. I'm done. Just under an hour. Perfect. Thank you so much for joining me, as always. Oh, there goes the light again. I timed it just right because the cough's kicking in now. Have a brilliant couple of weeks, folks. I'll be back in a fortnight with more of the same. Look forward to reading all your comments and thoughts on this one. And a big thank you from me and Maya, as I said earlier, for all of the well wishes over the last couple of weeks. It's got us through a very, very difficult time. And here she is, Maya. Say hello. There she is. Looking as good as ever. So thanks a lot, guys, for joining me, and I'll be back in 2 weeks with a bit of luck. Have a brilliant fortnight, and I'll talk to you all again soon. Take care. Ta-ra.